Hi everyone, at Digital Colmer here, doing a bit of a test for you guys. So today I'm going to talk about Amazon Web Services, and in particular a service called EC2. Yeah. So what I'm going to show you to do today, guys, is how to use EC2, and also what is EC2. So let's get into it. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Basically, it's a service that allows you to spin up what we call virtual servers. So virtual servers host software. They can host websites. They can host applications. Basically, you use virtual machines or virtual servers to create a system. They're the building blocks of any IT system. So we're going to run through what they are and what that looks like. So let me just share my screen. There we go, guys. Sharing now. So what you can see on the screen there is you can see, this is called the EC2 Dashboard. Yes. Isn't exciting, isn't it? Wow, look at this. So you can see the number of running instances. You can see a whole heap of different things that are running. So I've got one I prepared earlier. But let's look at the basics of EC2. So first thing we need to understand are instance types. So they're really, really cool things. We have lots of instance types. These are basically the types of virtual machines you want to run. So there are general purpose, there are compute optimized. So these are optimized for high CPU usage. Memory optimized, if you want to use lots of memory. Accelerated computing, in particular if you want to do a lot of deep learning models. So the Tesla Model 3, for example, outside of the car, Tesla use the Tesla V100 GPUs, for example, to do a lot of modeling, to understand what the car needs to respond to, build that model, and then transport that model into the car. This allows the car then to effectively autonomously drive around places like Brisbane. Yes, I have a Model 3. Incredible car. Anyway, back to instances. So lots of different types. So you need a bit of expertise in how to choose the instance type. Let's go and launch an instance now. So I'm just going to click on, see down the bottom here, launch instance, launch instance. Here we go. Magical. And first thing we have to do is choose an Amazon machine image. Yes, I know, it's exciting, isn't it? Amazon machine image. So you're presented with a whole different series of operating systems. So you can see some Linux versions there. Now, given I'm a Windows man, I'm going to choose Windows. What's important on the left-hand side is that there's a free tier eligible sign. So best thing is to choose those, otherwise you'll end up paying for them. Which is, you probably can pay for them if you want, but I suggest probably not to when you're doing experiments. So I'm going to choose the Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base, and I select. Next thing I have to do is select my instance type. I'm going to stick to a T2 Micro because it's free, and I'm a bit of a tight ass. Virtual CPU, 1, memory 1, very low spec, but this will do for the demo. I then configure my instance details. So here I can configure my virtual private cloud. That's basically my virtual networking characteristics. So I do this here. I'm going to leave it all as default. I then add some storage. So every single virtual machine has to have generally some sort of storage attached to it. That allows the operating system to boot because you have to store it somewhere. It's a bit like your home computer. You have to have a disk, right? So I'm using solid state disk here, general purpose, and it's attached as a root. It's going to be 30 gig. I can change that if I need, but I'm just going to leave that. Then, really important, I can add a tag. So I'm going to give it my server a bit of a name. I'm going to call it Colmer Crazy Server. Oh, yeah. And then next thing I do is configure a security group. Security group's really simple. It's just a stateful firewall. It allows certain traffic through to my virtual machine. From a security perspective, it protects it from bad things. So here I've got a single rule that allows RDP. That's a type of traffic that allows me to log on to the server and install things. It's working on the protocol TCP, and it has a port number. So they're the minimum that you need in terms of rules for a security group. I'm going to click on review and launch. I then get to review all my settings. So my Microsoft Windows Server, that's my Amazon machine image details, my instance type, and my security groups. And you can see further down, I've got storage down here. Let me just scroll down, guys. Here we are, storage. That's my volume that I've attached. We use a service called the Amazon Elastic Block Store for that. And then at the bottom, I've got my tags, which identify that server as mine, Colmer Crazy Server. So I'm actually not going to launch that at this point because I already have an EC2 running. So let me show you what that looks like. Basically takes 3 or 4 minutes to spin up. Maybe I should go off and make a cup of tea. And, by the time I come back, it will be ready. Running instances 1. Let me show you what that looks like, guys. The magic of Amazon. Come on, here we go. And what I can do once this instance type is you can see it's running. You can see it's in the US East availability zone. So I can spin up servers anywhere in the world. How cool is that? I've chosen that one because that's my default region, US East, and then US East 2B is the availability zone, the specific data center that it lives in. I can then connect to that instance. And then what I do is I go through what I call a key exchange. So I have to tell it now where my password lives on my machine, or where my secret key lives on my machine. And it will then decrypt that secret key, know what my password is. I can then copy and paste that password, put it into the login screen, and I'm in. So I'm not going to do that for security reasons. Otherwise, you'll know where my key lives on my machine. If you hack my machine, you might get that. So I'm not going to do that now. But I hope that's helped, guys. That's a fantastic demonstration of AWS EC2, the absolute basic blocks of cloud computing. So I hope you guys follow me at Digital Colmer. You guys take care. I'll speak to you soon.